Okay, so I just recorded this video, actually, but I'm not running the app that I need for controls to work. There we go, much better. Now I'm basically just going to go over base configuration things, how it works. I'm going to play some Attack on Mars. It's the same one I played when I did this before. It's a table I'm quite good at, but I have flipper buttons, I have a nudge button going both ways, I have a pause button here. You didn't get to see the launch button work because nudging this table too much launches the ball, but everything's completely functional, which I'm quite happy with. Cable management could be a little better. I don't currently have a back panel designed for the board to mount to or for the USB cable to run out of or anything, so I just had a really shitty ball because it was talking with my hands. But as is, I'm fairly happy with it. I mean, it's completely functional. This table uses a launch button instead of like a regular plunger in its actual form. But if I was playing a table that used a plunger instead of a launch button, I would be able to hold the launch button to pull the plunger back to a variable degree, which is great. I'd like to design a top and a bottom, maybe some feet to stand it up a little. I would like a later version to be a little bigger as well, because this is a little small. I mean, it's not too bad, but I'd like something a little bit further out. That was a horrible run. I refuse to use that. I have more stuff to talk about with it anyway, so it works out. But no, I'd definitely like it to be a little bigger, a little taller. I would like to integrate the joystick for navigating the menus, because a lot of the controls in these style of games are done with like the same button controls for the flippers and the launch and everything anyway. But navigating the more complicated menus, like selecting a table and stuff like that, are done with the arrow keys, which I don't have. So I'd like to integrate the joystick and map that to the arrow keys, or I could map it as like a stick or something, and it wouldn't be too big of an issue. It's just a 4-switch joystick, a 4-directional joystick I have. So it's not like it has 8 or 16 inputs anyway. So mapping it as the arrow keys really wouldn't be that big of a deal. I would just have to make sure I map it in a way that correlates to how it is mounted in the box. I would eventually like to make this a fully enclosed system, ideally with one of the panels removable to gain access to everything. I would hope ideally that would probably be the back panel, but I would need to revise my current build a little for that to work, unless I used heat inserts to mount my screw holes. But that's a project or a problem for later me and not current me. As is, I'm happy with it. I got red lettering on the text. I have all the buttons labeled. Ideally, I would really like for that to be a multi-material extrusion, so it's a different color hard baked into it, as opposed to me having to paint it on or use a decal or something like that. Like I said, as is, I'm happy with how it is, but there's definitely a bunch of tweaks I'd like to make. I have no problem with the depth, surprisingly. When I designed the part, I designed the piece to be a lot deeper, but it was mostly dead space, and it turns out I don't really need it, which is fine. I have absolutely no issue with it as is. Hey, I broke a billion. That's what I was hoping for last time, and it didn't happen. But no, I'm satisfied with the outcome, so not much more to say on it. There's definitely more tweaks coming in the future. Heat inserts isn't a bad idea. Yeah, like this is what I'm on. I can't navigate to exit to single player because it uses the arrow keys. But like a menu like this, I can't even go through. I can click through the leaderboard options, but not any of the stuff that matters. So, yeah, that's that. That works. I'm happy with it. And it's not finished yet, but it will be eventually. I should explain a couple things. This up here is displaying on my second monitor, and that is two separate displays running on top of each other. So the top one's a background image that's supposed to be like the backglass, and the bottom one's a dot matrix display that shows the score and all the graphics and everything. That's pretty intuitive. And then everything you're seeing in the background here is the game, obviously, and I'm up in the corner. Duh. But, yeah, no, it's super close to a point where I'm happy with it. It'd be super cool if I could get this working on a large enough scale, or get like a graphics card for the additional computer I'm working on the full-size virtual pinball table for. But as is, I'm so happy with the results. It's great.